Today we're going to be using Photoshop and we are going to use the selection tool called the magnetic lasso, and we're going to be using the pattern and the pattern hatch tool. So what we want to do is we want to go to the internet first, and well, I don't want you to go to the internet. I would like you to use a picture that you have found. And so what I did is I typed like family photo beside each other. My preference would be for you to use um, a picture that you found of your family. And I found this picture right here. All right. What I would like you to do is always we would tools, size. We want to have that on large. All right. This happens to be a decent sized picture. But then what I want you to do is I want you to think about the things in your family, and what you want to do is you want to produce a picture and you want to change part of it so that it represents something that's important to them. So I decided that this lady is going to like hockey and this one is going to like flowers and gardening. So then what I did is I typed in, so I've got that picture, I right click, I save image as, and I put it in a location where I'm going to remember it. And then I went over and I did like hockey pattern, hockey pattern. All right, and I picked this one right here, save image as, okay, and then our pattern. All right, same thing. I downloaded one of these. Okay, so now I've got these three pictures. I've got my family picture, and I've got these two things where I want to incorporate an element that is important to them. So then what I do is I go back to Photoshop. I'm going to make my hatch first. So let me go to open, and I'm going to open one of those hatches. So let's do this one right here. I don't love the watermarks, but whatever. I don't want this down here. So I'm going to hit this button right here that says the crop tool. And then I'm just going to drag up the part that I don't want in there. I'm going to click the check mark. So that looks good. And this is the pattern that I want. And so then I'm going to go to Edit, Define Pattern, and let's call this. So now I've just defined that pattern. It's the whole thing. Now I'm going to open up another one. Let's go, I think that's F2. Maybe not. F3. So F3 is the other pattern. Same thing. Let's get rid of that bottom with hit the check mark. And then I'm going to go to Edit and Define Pattern and click. I'm going to type in flower. So let's say I went to a new document and I just wanted to see what this particular pattern would do. If I go here and I go to pattern stamp tool, now that's 66. Let's make it a little bit bigger, 84. And then let's go to this one. And then as I'm going, I'm on the hockey pattern. And then if I want to do the other pattern, I go here. Now that's go back to the floral pattern. And if I'm not happy with something, I just hit Control Z, Control Z. They do have installed patterns already, but I just wanted you to pick ones that were already there. So that's just how you use the pattern stamp tool. So let's open up the lady. All right. Now, if we just start using the pattern stamp tool, let's say I wanted to change her shirt to one of, let's say that she's into hockey, and I get my hockey and I go like this. Problem is, if I make a mistake, I'm in trouble. So in order to prevent me from making that mistake, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go my magnetic lasso. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around this lady, and you can see that it really quickly goes to the pixels that I want. I do have to take my time when I'm going around. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. You can hit escape to get out of it and just start again. So I'm tracing around. and then I'm going to hit enter when I'm done. So now I've made this selection. I do want to fix that up. So I'm going to get rid of the magnetic lasso and just go like this. And if I press and hold shift, there's a plus button there, and I'm going to add to that selection just so we don't see that at the bottom. All right. That's pretty good. So now what we're going to do, and I've got a feather of 2 on that selection tool. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my pattern stamp tool. And I've got hockey selected here. It's tough to see, but I do. And now when I paint, if I make a mistake, it will only go into that selection. All right. So we've got her dressed in her. You know what? I think I'm going to leave the hands. I like that. All right. So that's kind of cool. So now what I'm going to do is to deselect, I'm going to hit Control D for deselect. Now I'm going to select the other lady. I'm going to go back to my magnetic lasso. If there's an arrow on the bottom, if I press and hold, that's going to be my magnetic lasso. And let's leave the hands visible. And I click every once in a while. If I'm going to take a hard turn, I click. Let's leave the hands. Photoshop does a good job when it can see a clear difference in the pixels. I'm going to clean that up again too. And then press enter. Actually, I kind of like that. I don't think there's anything I need to change there. You know what? I'm just going to demonstrate again, just to demonstrate it. So I'm going to go to my lasso. If I press and hold plus, that's going to add. But let's say I had too much. If I press and hold Control, I can get rid of part of it. So shift to add. You know what we're doing right now? Let's just, if we make a mistake, we'll hit escape and we'll start again. You know what? I'm going to add her arm over here. So this is adding to the selection. I do have to press and hold shift when I'm doing this. Oh, you know what? I forgot to go to my magnetic lasso. So I'm pressing and holding shift. Press enter. All right, that looks pretty good. So I've got her arm. And now I'm going to go back to my pattern hatch. And then this time I'm going to select the flowers. And let's put the flowers on there. All right, and so now I'm going to go Control D for deselect. Good. So we've got the hockey hatch. Didn't do a great job over here on the helmet, but whatever. And I've got that. And I think it kind of tells a story. But what I would like you to do is I would like you to have both the before and after picture here. You know what? For what we're doing, I've changed my mind. Let's just hand that picture in. And I don't want the Photoshop file. So what we do is we go to File, and we go to Save As. And the default is often up here at Photoshop. That's not what we want, because I can't open it up on D2L. We want the JPEG, and let's call this Family. Save. It's important that this is the largest file size that we can have. We don't want to lose any quality. And then I'm going to click OK. And so if you've done a good job, you've picked a good picture, and looks reasonable, and the hatch is the right size, you'll get a good mark. So just play around with Photoshop and have fun.